Okay, well, thank you very much for inviting me along this evening. It's a great pleasure to be here on your special nights. And I was asked to explain exactly what happened with me. But before I start, I want to say a couple of things as one of the few non-medical people in this room. And the first is that I hear all sorts of stories about ambulance people being assaulted, about false calls to the 999 service, you know, people that's taken drugs or drink and who you know, really don't necessarily deserve the support that they get. So you must get very frustrated about it. So I'd just like to say that 99.9% of all the hard-working, decent people in this country think you're superheroes. Come on! The second thing I'd like to say is that you're probably all very frustrated, lack of resources, lack of equipment, lack of staffing, etc. Now, I'm not a rich man, but I would call myself comfortably well off. And if the government said to us that what we want to do for anybody earning over a certain level, there would be another 1 or 2 pence tax in the pounds, ring-fenced for people like yourselves, then my resounding answer, and the people that I know's resounding answer, would be yes. Because the fact that you deal with the things that you do, when you aren't properly resourced, when you aren't properly staffed, when you aren't properly funded, we haven't got the equipment necessarily that you need, is an absolute fantastic thing. So thank you all very much, again, from those thousands, millions of people that have benefited from this. So now I'd like to say what happened with myself. Now I'm a keen watcher of football, and I went along November the 29th last year. So my first birthday is just coming up. It was a very bad match. Bournemouth were playing Burnley and they'd lost 2-1. So I wasn't obviously in a very good mood. And I was driving home, and we're talking about 10:30 at night, driving home on a dark road. Now I have no knowledge of this because I don't remember anything from 2 days beforehand till a week afterwards, till I came out of my coma. But I have had a dash cam in my car. I also heard the 999 call, and I've spoken to everybody that was involved in it, so that's where I've got the information from. But anyway, I was driving home after this match, obviously not in a very good mood, and I had a cardiac arrest. Now I'm driving alone in the car, and the first thing is anything could have happened. I could have gone across and gone into another a car coming in the opposite direction. I could have killed myself and obviously very sadly killed them, or I could have gone into a tree, or whatever. So, but that didn't happen. Secondly, I could easily have just pulled to the side of the road very gently, and people would have thought I was asleep, I was drunk, and they wouldn't have paid any attention to me. But what happened was, driving along, and I hear from the dash cam a little cough or a sneeze. It's halfway between the two, and the car comes to a very slow stop right in the middle of a road. Not quite dual carriage, but right in the middle of the road. So, you know, obviously that was a little bit unusual. So several people had to go up on the pavement, so they went past me. But luckily, someone stopped. It was a Polish couple, Isabella and Peter. They stopped, thought something was wrong, and they came over. Now, I think the statistics are that if you have a cardiac arrest outside of a medical environment, you have about a 13% chance of survival. But if you then couple that with driving by yourself and any one of these things that could have happened, we are now talking down to single percentages. Anyway, this couple did stop, and they came over, and you know, obviously they were trying to slap my face, wake up, all this on the dash cam, and the BBC also made a programme about it because it was all there. And you know, they were very well intentioned, but they didn't know what to do. So they phoned 999, and the person on the other end of the call was someone called Sigourney Kate. She's at the Bournemouth call centre, and I'm going to call her the Mary Berry. Now, anybody watch Bake Off? Yeah, watch Bake Off. I know it's Prue Leith now, but it's I'm going to call her Mary Berry, probably because she got a bit of stick from that. Maybe she'll see this video. But why would you say something like that, which seems quite trivial? Because if you watch the Bake Off, you'll see people that forget to put the oven on, they put sugar instead of, salt instead of sugar, they don't separate the eggs, they get all mixed up. So these people phone through, and I'm still sitting in the car. My blood has stopped pumping around the body, and in the end I was 5 minutes without oxygen to my brain, and we are now talking seconds. Because you cannot go, well, what am I telling you, or the medical people here, but you can't go more than about 5 minutes or so without oxygen getting to your brain. So you need someone who knows what they're doing, who is calm, who is in control of the situation. So these people phoned, and immediately Sigourney, right, come on, get him out of the car, because they were trying to do the things they were doing while I was sitting in the car. Well, I'm a big guy, right, okay? So, you know, it took 3 of them to get me out of the car. I have lost 4 stone since then, and, you know, go to the gym, etc. But they got me out of the car. She said, right, okay, get him on his back on the ground. I said, okay, right. And then we do the Bee Gees number, right? Staying alive, staying alive. So that one. So she did that, and with a huge confidence, so that they knew exactly what they were doing. Now, because she'd given them the instructions. If she'd waited a few seconds, I'd be dead. It's that close. So then, she alerted for the ambulance to come. The ambulance was there quite quickly. And I'm sure all of you watch Casualty and Holby City, right? Yeah. And is it realistic? No. You get someone who's who's gone through a particular medical trauma, and they've got, you know, one tube in their mouth and another, you know, in their arm. It's nothing like that at all. Because the first thing, obviously, you've got to do is get the heart going again. So, obviously, it was, and I do have to consult now. Martin Box is here this evening, part of the team. But also Jason Brown, Dave Cook, Pete Munday, John Nichols and Andy Coombs. Those were the people that were involved in this. So first thing is, get the heart going again, because, you know, you can keep it going for so long, but until you start the heart, you haven't really got a chance. So they did that, my heart then got restarted. But you'd think, okay, well then you get his heart started and then you just take him to the hospital, right? No. Because when I got to hospital, I had pneumonia. I was in a coma for about a week or so, and I had so many tubes in different parts of my my body, and some of you probably wouldn't mention in mixed company. And my wife here couldn't even find anywhere on my body to kiss, because she came in a couple of hours afterwards. So all of that process, because I had someone from a nurse by my side 24 hours a day, and again, I was so close. We're talking 2 or 3% chance of survival now. The fact that you had to, is the word intubate? I think it is it? Right? Yes? Okay. You had to intubate, you had to work really hard on the way in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, so that the hospital could then take over. Again, if that hadn't happened, I would be dead. So that's why I am so grateful to people here, because you probably get very frustrated. You know, sometimes things get very difficult, but there's myself, and you can see now that just how much you have helped myself. But there are hundreds and probably thousands of people, because you don't normally meet up with people afterwards. especially people on the phones and they don't see it, they don't know what they've done. But there are hundreds and thousands of people who are here today because of you, because of your professionalism, because of your dedication, because of the fact that you're compassionate in the way you've dealt them. So I can't say enough, thank you. I think, my family think, and the thousands and thousands of people behind me think, you are all superheroes. Thank you.